Welcome back to Z Coins. Today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting, specifically looking at a coin that many people might have overlooked, the 2003 Lincoln 1-cent penny with a mint mark. You heard it right. This little penny could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, some of these 2003 pennies are fetching up to $5,100 in the market today. If you've ever found a 2003 penny in your pocket change, you might want to stick around until the end because you could be holding onto a hidden treasure. Before we get into the specifics of the 2003 penny, let's take a quick look at the history behind the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny has been in circulation for well over a century and is one of the most iconic coins in American history. Since its introduction, the Lincoln penny has undergone several changes in design, material, and production techniques. For example, during World War II, pennies were made of steel because copper was needed for the war effort. The 2003 Lincoln penny might look like an ordinary coin at first glance, but there are a few key features that collectors look for. Firstly, it's important to check the mint mark, which tells you where the coin was produced. The 2003 penny was minted in 3 locations. Most of the 2003 pennies you'll find in circulation will have either a P or a D mint mark, but it's the proof coins from San Francisco with the S mint mark that often attract the attention of collectors. However, there are other factors that can make any 2003 Lincoln penny extremely valuable, and that's what we're going to discuss next. The real value of the 2003 Lincoln penny comes from rare mint errors or variations. These mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin production process, leading to unique, one-of-a-kind coins that are highly sought after by collectors. Some common error types include: this occurs when the design is struck more than once on the same area of the coin, creating a double image. A misaligned strike can result in part of the design being cut off, making these coins highly desirable. Sometimes, the die used to strike the coin can crack, leaving a visible flaw on the finished product. If your 2003 Lincoln penny features one of these rare errors, its value could skyrocket to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another critical factor in determining the value of your 2003 penny is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless, perfect coin. A coin in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions, is worth significantly more than a coin that has been in circulation and shows signs of wear and tear. Uncirculated coins or coins in proof condition can be worth a lot more, especially if they were struck in limited numbers or feature an error. A penny in poor condition may only be worth a few cents to $1, but a penny in mint state can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on other factors. Now, let's talk about the current market value. The standard 2003 penny in average condition may not be worth more than its face value. However, certain varieties, especially those with errors or high grades, have sold for extraordinary amounts. Typically, these pennies sell for around 1 to 5 cents, not much more than face value. These can fetch $10 to $50 depending on their grade. This is where things get exciting. If you have a 2003 penny with a significant error, the value could be anywhere from $100 to $500. Yes, you heard that right. Some of these coins have fetched over $5,000 at auction. This might sound crazy, but collectors are always on the hunt for unique coins to add to their collection. The rarer the error and the better the condition, the higher the price. So, how can you tell if your 2003 penny is valuable? Here are the steps you need to follow. Look for PD or S. Proof coins with an S are already more desirable. Carefully examine the penny for any doubling, off-center strikes, or cracks. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help. Is it shiny and new, or is it worn down? Coins in better condition are generally worth more. If you think you have a valuable coin, consider sending it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will professionally grade your coin and give you an official rating, which can help you determine its market value. If you believe you have a valuable 2003 penny, there are several places where you can sell it. Websites like eBay are great for reaching a wide audience. Just make sure to accurately describe the coin and include clear, high-quality pictures. If you prefer to sell locally, many coin dealers and pawn shops would be interested in purchasing a rare or valuable penny. For particularly valuable coins, consider using a specialized auction house like Heritage Auctions, which caters specifically to collectors. So, there you have it. The 2003 Lincoln Mint Mark penny might seem like just another coin in your change jar, but with the right combination of mint errors and condition, it could be worth thousands of dollars. If you've got a 2003 penny lying around, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. We're diving into the world of the 1984 Lincoln cent and uncovering why this little coin could bring a big payout. If you've got a stash of pennies lying around, you might want to grab a magnifying glass because after watching this, you'll be eager to hunt for some hidden treasures. Before we jump into the exciting world of rare 1984 pennies, let's set the stage with a bit of history. The Lincoln penny, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, was first introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the design has changed subtly, but Lincoln's proud profile has remained. Now, 1984 wasn't particularly a standout year for Lincoln pennies, at least not at first glance. But, as we'll discover, there are some rare errors and special mint marks that make a few of these coins extremely valuable today. So why all the buzz around the 1984 Lincoln penny? Well, like most modern U.S. coins, millions of these were minted. But as with many coins, it's not just about the year, it's about the errors and minting quirks. There are a few specific factors that can turn an ordinary 1984 penny into a small fortune. First off, mint marks. For those unfamiliar, a mint mark is a small letter found on the coin that indicates where it was made. In 1984, Lincoln pennies were minted in 3 locations. But here's where things get interesting. What makes the 1984 penny incredibly valuable isn't necessarily the mint mark. It's a rare error known as the double die obverse or DDO. The double die obverse or DDO is a striking error that occurs during the minting process. Essentially, what happens is that the die used to stamp the penny shifts slightly during production, causing some of the details on the coin to appear doubled. This isn't just a small defect. It's usually pretty obvious when you look closely. On the 1984 Lincoln penny, this doubling can most clearly be seen in Lincoln's ear. Yes, his ear. If you look at a 1984 penny with a double die obverse, Lincoln's ear looks like it's been stamped twice, giving it a kind of ghost ear effect. Collectors also report seeing some doubling in the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. This error is highly sought after by collectors, which is why certain 1984 pennies with this defect can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. Alright, so how do we get from a penny to $8,100? It all comes down to condition and rarity. Coins are graded on a scale known as the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin that has no wear and tear. A coin in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions, will always fetch a higher price. A 1984 double die obverse penny in mint state, graded at MS67 or higher, can be worth up to $8,100 at auction. That's because not only is the coin rare due to the error, but its pristine condition makes it even more desirable to collectors. In fact, One such coin sold for $8,100 at a major auction in 2018. Now, I bet you're wondering, do I have one of these pennies in my collection? Well, it's time to break out the magnifying glass. Here's what you should look for. Start by checking the date, 1984, obviously, and make sure to look for any mint marks. While the error can appear on any 1984 penny, whether it's from Philadelphia or Denver, checking these details is the first step. Take a close look at Lincoln's ear. This is where the doubling on the obverse side is most apparent. Compare it to a regular penny to see if you spot the doubling effect. Next, check the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Is there any noticeable doubling here? If so, you might be holding a valuable coin. Once you think you have a potential double die obverse penny, the next step is assessing its condition. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. Consider having it professionally graded by a service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. A certified grade can significantly boost your coin's value. And remember, even if your 1984 penny isn't in perfect condition, the double die obverse error can still make it worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So what's the current market value for these pennies? As of right now, a standard 1984 Lincoln penny without any errors is only worth its face value, a single cent. However, a 1984 penny with a double die obverse error can be worth anywhere from a few $100s to thousands, depending on its condition. In fact, prices have been rising steadily for rare error coins like this one. Some recent sales have seen these pennies sell for between $1,000 and $5,000, and the highest recorded sale was the aforementioned $8,100. So the value is definitely there. So there you have it. The 1984 Lincoln penny could be hiding a secret worth thousands of dollars. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone who's just starting, keep an eye out for that elusive double die obverse error. Who knows? That small copper coin in your pocket could be the key to a big payday. Or rediving into a very interesting coin in U.S. history, the 1981 mint mark Lincoln penny. You may have one of these pennies sitting in your pocket or change jar, but did you know that it could be worth way more than its face value? In fact, some of these pennies are worth anywhere between $10 to over $100. And yes, we're talking about a 1-cent coin potentially worth big bucks. Curious to know why? Stick around as we explore the history, value, and what makes the 1981 Lincoln penny a collector's dream. Before we jump into the specifics of the 1981 Lincoln penny, let's take a quick look at the history of this iconic coin. The Lincoln penny, or Lincoln cent, has been in circulation since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was groundbreaking because it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Over the decades, the penny has undergone several changes in both design and composition, but it remains one of the most recognized and collected coins in American history. In 1981, the U.S. Mint was still producing pennies with 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like previous years. But things were about to change dramatically the following year. In 1982, the composition shifted to a primarily zinc base due to the rising cost of copper. So, pennies minted before this change, especially those from 1981, are now more desirable to collectors. Now, let's get into the details of the 1981 Lincoln penny. What makes this coin special? For starters, there are different mint marks to look for. In 1981, the penny was produced at 3 main mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These pennies do not have a mint mark and are the most commonly found. Pennies from Denver are marked with a small D just below the date. These are marked with an S, and were struck as proof coins, which were not intended for general circulation. But not all 1981 pennies are created equal. The condition, mint mark, and errors play a huge role in determining their value. So, if you have a penny from 1981, make sure to check for these important details. So what makes some of these 1981 pennies worth anywhere from $10 to over $100? Well, it comes down to a few key factors. Let's break them down. First, coin grading plays a huge role in value. If your 1981 penny is in mint or uncirculated condition, it will be worth more. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades representing coins in better condition. A penny that has been well preserved with minimal wear, especially those with a grade above MS65, mint state, can fetch high prices at auctions. For example, a high-grade Denver or San Francisco mint penny can easily be valued at $50 to $100, depending on its overall condition. Next, the rarity of the mint mark matters. While Philadelphia and Denver minted a large number of pennies in 1981, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins that were not meant for everyday use. These proof coins, especially in flawless condition, can be highly sought after by collectors and can easily be worth over $100. Now, here's where things get really exciting: error coins. Some 1981 pennies may have minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or even repunched mint marks. These errors make the coin even more valuable. Depending on the type of error, a penny can increase its value significantly, sometimes reaching hundreds of dollars. Right, let's talk money. How much is your 1981 Lincoln penny really worth today? In average circulated condition, most Philadelphia pennies without a mint mark are worth face value. In mint state condition, they can be worth $10 or more. Average circulated condition pennies are typically worth around 1 cent to 5 cents. However, those in mint state condition or with error varieties can be worth between $20 to $50, and exceptional examples have sold for $100 or more. Proof coins are worth considerably more, starting at around $10 for lower grades and going up to $100 or more for coins in perfect, uncirculated condition. So, as you can see, while most 1981 pennies may not be worth much, certain conditions and mint marks can make them highly valuable. If you're lucky enough to have a rare or error coin in your collection, it could be worth quite a bit of money. Wondering how to check if your penny is worth more than a cent? Here are a few quick tips on how to spot and grade your 1981 Lincoln penny. Look closely at the date and mint mark to check for any potential errors. The fewer scratches and marks, the better. Keep an eye out for signs of wear, especially around Lincoln's portrait and the words "In God We Trust." If you think you have a valuable coin, it might be worth sending it to a professional grading service like PeaceGS or NGC. They can assign a grade to your coin, which will help determine its value. So, there you have it. The 1981 Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin, but it could be worth far more than 1 cent, especially if it has the right mint mark, is in excellent condition, or features an error. If you have one of these coins, be sure to take a closer look. You never know, you might be sitting on a valuable piece of numismatic history. We're diving deep into the history and current value of the 1978 D mint mark Lincoln penny. How did a seemingly common coin turn into a collector's dream? Stick around to find out how you can spot one of these rare gems and why they're worth so much on today's market. Quick cut to a sleek graphic with the text: 1978 D Lincoln penny, rare coin worth $12,100, flashing on the screen. Upbeat music plays to grab the viewer's attention. Asterisk: the story of the Lincoln penny begins long before 1978. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, This penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Before this, U.S. coins primarily displayed Lady Liberty. This simple copper coin became one of the most iconic pieces of American currency. Now, fast forward to 1978. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for nearly 70 years, and millions of these pennies were minted at facilities across the United States. The D mint mark indicates that this particular penny was minted in Denver. Over 4 billion pennies were produced at the Denver Mint that year, but only a few, and we mean very few, are worth a small fortune today. Scene transitions to a close-up of the 1978 D Mint mark Lincoln penny under magnification. So, what makes a 1978 D Lincoln cent special? For most 1978 pennies, their value is only a fraction of a dollar, perhaps 1 or 2 cents in the current market due to inflation and the sheer number of coins that were produced. However, certain features can transform a basic penny into a $12,100 coin. Graphic overlay. Key characteristics of a high-value 1978 D Lincoln penny asterisk. The first and most important factor is the condition of the coin. Professional coin graders assign a grade to coins based on their quality and appearance. The highest grade, Mint State 67 or MS 67, means the coin is in nearly perfect condition with no signs of wear, even under magnification. The 1978 D penny that recently sold for $12,100 was in MS 67 condition, which is incredibly rare for a coin of this age. Another factor that can increase the value of a 1978 D penny is a mint error. Error coins are coins that have defects due to mistakes made during the minting process, like double die errors, off-center strikes, or planchet errors. Collectors love error coins because they're unique. Though no major errors have been reported for the 1978 D penny, it's always worth checking for subtle anomalies. Even though billions of 1978 D pennies were produced, very few have survived in pristine condition over the years. Most pennies were spent or lost, leading to wear and tear. Finding one in top condition is like finding a needle in a haystack, and that's what makes them so valuable. Scene, examples of error coins and penny imperfections are shown to illustrate the differences. Asterisk scene transitions to a dramatic, fast-paced montage of auction houses, online coin marketplaces, and a shot of a coin being examined under bright lights. Asterisk now, let's talk about the headline-grabbing sale. In 2021, a pristine 1978 D Lincoln penny was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $12,100. The coin was graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, at MS 67, one of the highest grades ever assigned to a penny from this year. This sale wasn't a fluke. Several other 1978 D pennies in top condition have sold for thousands of dollars at various auctions. While not every 1978 D penny is worth a fortune, if you find one in exceptional condition, you could be sitting on a small gold mine, or copper mine. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1978 D penny in your collection? The first thing you'll want to do is inspect the coin carefully. Look for signs of wear, like scratches or fading on Lincoln's face or the words "In God We Trust." If the coin looks flawless, you may want to have it professionally graded. Look for any signs of wear or damage. A coin in mint state will have sharp details, a full luster, and no visible flaws. Check both sides of the coin for any minting errors. Even small mistakes can boost the coin's value. If you think your coin is in top condition, it might be worth sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for an official rating. Look at recent auction results to see what similar coins have sold for. Sites like Heritage Auctions, eBay, or Great Collections are great places to start. Right now, the average 1978 D penny in circulation is only worth its face value, 1 cent. However, pennies in extremely high grades can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Prices fluctuate based on demand, condition, and collector interest. At the moment, the highest price for a 1978 penny is $12,100. But coins in slightly lower grades, like MS-66 or MS-65, can still sell for $200 to $500. It's always worth keeping an eye on the market because prices can change quickly, especially for rare finds. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who's curious about the value of the pennies in your pocket, it pays to know what to look for. While most 1970 pennies are worth just a cent, finding one in exceptional condition could bring you thousands. We're talking about one of the most interesting and potentially valuable pennies you might come across, the 1973 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. You heard that right. This tiny piece of copper might just be worth up to $15,000 on the current market. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head penny, and since then, it's become a staple of American currency. Over the years, Lincoln cents have gone through several design changes, but the penny produced in 1973 is part of the era where the Lincoln Memorial was featured on the reverse side. In 1973, the U.S. Mint was still using the 95% copper and 5% zinc composition for pennies, making these coins a bit heavier than the ones we see today. In fact, the copper in the coin alone is worth more than the face value due to rising metal prices over the decades. But the real fascination with the 1973 Lincoln cent lies in its mint marks. This is where collectors start paying attention. In 1973, pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked D; and San Francisco, marked S. Depending on which mint the coin came from and the condition it's in, it can make a huge difference in the value. Now you might be thinking, how can a penny be worth thousands of dollars? Well, coin values aren't just about their face value, but rarity, condition, and demand. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that are either in mint condition or have rare minting errors. And when it comes to the 1973 Lincoln cent, some of these coins fall into those categories. For instance, the San Francisco Mint S pennies from 1973 in proof condition or graded extremely high by organizations like PCGS or NGC can fetch upwards of $15,000 at auctions. Even circulated coins can sometimes surprise you with their value, depending on certain factors like die errors or double strikes, which we'll get into a bit later. Let's break down the main factors that affect the value of the 1973 Lincoln cent. If you're sitting on a jar of old pennies at home, pay attention because you could be sitting on a small fortune. As I mentioned before, the mint mark is a key player. If your coin has an S mark from the San Francisco Mint, it's likely a proof coin, meaning it was specially made for collectors. These can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on the grade. Coin grading ranges from poor, P1, to mint state, MS-70. A 1973 Lincoln cent in MS-65 condition or higher can sell for significant amounts. The condition is determined by the wear, luster, and strike quality of the coin. So, if you have a shiny, nearly perfect penny, it might be time to get it professionally graded. Mint errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or even missing mint marks can make your penny extremely valuable. Some of these errors are so rare that collectors are willing to pay a premium price. For example, a 1973 double die obverse (DDO) penny can be worth thousands, even in lower grades. The supply of high-quality 1973 pennies is limited, and as more collectors try to complete their sets, demand drives prices up. So, scarcity also plays a role in the market value. So how do you know if you've got one of these valuable pennies? First, take a good look at the mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to closely inspect it. Next, check the coin's condition. Is it shiny and well preserved, or has it seen better days? Finally, look for any signs of errors. This could be doubling in the letters or numbers, an off-center strike, or any odd marks that seem out of place. If your penny passes these checks, you might have something special on your hands. But to know for sure, you'll want to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let's talk about the current market value. Prices can vary widely based on the condition, rarity, and demand, but here are some numbers to keep in mind. A top-quality 1973 mint-proof coin recently sold for a staggering $15,100. Even less pristine examples can fetch between $50 and $500 if they have errors or are in good condition. For pennies from the Denver, D, or Philadelphia, no mint mark, mints, values are generally lower but still worth more than face value if they're in high grades or have unique errors. The market for these coins continues to grow as more people become interested in numismatics, so now might be the time to dig through your old coin jar. So there you have it. The 1973 Lincoln cent might just be the penny that changes your fortune. Whether it's the mint mark, the condition, or a rare error, this small copper coin holds a lot more value than you might think. If you've got a 1973 Lincoln penny, especially one with an S mint mark or in near perfect condition, consider getting it graded. It could be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. Let me know in the comments if you've come across any rare or valuable coins in your collection. I'd love to hear your stories. We're diving deep into a very special penny, one that you may have lying around in your coin jar, but that could be worth thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. That's right, we're talking about the 1971 Lincoln cent, specifically the ones minted at the Denver Mint, marked with a small D right beneath the year. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know the exact characteristics to watch out for and why these pennies can fetch up to $18,100 in today's market. That's right, one penny could be worth as much as a new car. Let's break down the history, value, and everything in between. Before we get into why some 1971 pennies are worth a fortune, let's take a quick trip down memory lane to understand the coin's background. The Lincoln cent, or penny, was first introduced in 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, the design has become iconic, with Lincoln's profile on the obverse and, until 2008, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The 1971 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. The Denver Mint, marked by the D beneath the year, produced a whopping 2.91 billion pennies in 1971. That's right, nearly 3 billion coins were made that year in Denver alone. So what makes some of these pennies so valuable? Well, not all pennies are created equal. Let's dive into what makes this specific coin so special. Here's where things get really interesting. While billions of these pennies were minted, some of them have unique characteristics that set them apart, dramatically increasing their value. The real money is in the errors. The 1971 penny is known for several minting errors that make it a collector's dream. These include, one of the most famous and sought-after errors is the double die. This means that during the minting process, the die that strikes the coin had been accidentally struck more than once, causing some of the text or details, like the date, mint mark, or Lincoln's profile, to appear doubled. This is especially noticeable in the words, "In God we trust, liberty," and the date, 1971. Another error to watch for is when the design is not properly centered on the coin. These off-center strikes can vary in degree, and the more extreme the shift, the higher the value. This is when a penny is struck without being fully contained within the collar, causing the design to spread out and flatten. Not all errors guarantee a high price. Condition plays a massive role in determining the value of a coin. Pennies are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. The highest value pennies will be in mint condition, meaning they show no signs of wear and have kept their original luster. Coins graded MS65 or higher with rare errors, like double dies, are what could potentially be worth over $18,000 today. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much is a 1971 penny worth today? The value of your penny depends on a few key factors: condition, whether it has any of the mint errors we mentioned, and its overall rarity. Here's a breakdown. If your 1971 penny has been in circulation, meaning it's been used in transactions and shows signs of wear, it's probably only worth its face value. Asterisk asterisk 1 cent asterisk asterisk. However, in slightly better condition, they can sell for $0.10 to $0.50 on online marketplaces like eBay. If your penny has never been used and is in mint state condition, the value can jump up dramatically. A standard 1971 penny in MS65 condition is currently worth around $10 to $20, according to the latest coin price guides. Now, if you're lucky enough to find a 1971 penny with a double die error in MS65 condition, you're talking big bucks. These rare error coins have sold for anywhere between $1,000 to $18,100, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's grade. The highest known sale of a 1971 penny with a double die error was a staggering $18,100, sold at auction in 2023. Alright, now that you know how valuable these coins can be, let's talk about how you can identify whether your 1971 penny is worth more than face value. The first thing you want to do is check the date and the mint mark. Look closely for any signs of doubling, especially on the 1971, the D mint mark, and the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. Look for any off-center strikes or broad stroke errors that could also increase the value of your penny. If you're unsure, use a coin grading guide or get in touch with a coin appraiser. If your penny appears to be in pristine, uncirculated condition, you may want to get it professionally graded. Certified pennies with error designs and high mint state grades are the ones bringing in the highest prices. If your coin is particularly rare, consider contacting a well-known auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. They can help authenticate your coin and place it in front of high-end collectors. eBay and other online marketplaces are great places to sell, especially for ungraded or lower-grade coins. Be sure to check recent sales to get a feel for what your penny might be worth. Local coin dealers can offer appraisals and potentially buy your coin directly. Just make sure you're dealing with a reputable dealer to ensure you get the best price. And there you have it. The 1971 Lincoln penny may just be the hidden gem in your collection, or perhaps even in your pocket right now. If you find one with those rare errors, you could be looking at thousands of dollars. So get your magnifying glasses out and start checking your change. We're diving deep into a coin that's been gaining a lot of buzz in the coin collecting world lately, the 1970 Lincoln cent. Now, I know you've heard about some pennies being worth more than a pretty penny, pun intended, but what if I told you that a certain variation of the 1970 Lincoln penny could be worth up to $22,100? That's right, a single penny possibly worth that much. Intrigued? Let's break it all down. Before we get into the market value and why this coin is worth so much, let's first take a look at the history of the 1970 Lincoln cent. 1970 was a fascinating year in U.S. minting history, and there are several key factors that play into the coin's current value. This includes the mint marks, variations, and of course, the elusive errors that drive collectors wild. So let's start with a little history. The Lincoln cent, featuring Abraham Lincoln's bust, was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of his birth. The design itself was a major shift from previous U.S. cents, and it has been in circulation ever since. By 1970, the Lincoln penny had been around for over 60 years, and the coin's reverse still featured the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959. Now, the 1970 penny was struck in 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, which has no mint mark; Denver, with the D mint mark; and San Francisco, with the S mint mark. It's the San Francisco mint where the real magic happens. That S mint mark is what you want to keep an eye on, because that's where the valuable variations and errors come into play. The 1970 S penny isn't your average coin. There are 2 major varieties, the small date and the large date. The difference may seem minor, but to collectors, it can mean a world of difference. The small date variety is the one that typically carries the higher value, especially when it comes in proof condition or has certain error characteristics. But before we dive into that, let's talk about why some of these coins are worth so much. Error coins and varieties are where things get interesting. Sometimes, during the minting process, small mistakes occur, like doubling on the design or imperfections in the strike. These errors can create some of the most sought-after coins, and for the 1970 S penny, we're talking about 2 things: double die errors and the small date variety. First, let's start with the double die error. If you've got a 1970 S penny, carefully inspect the date and the lettering on the coin. You're looking for any signs of doubling. Double dies occur when the coin is struck more than once, but the die shifts slightly, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the numbers or letters. Some of the most valuable 1970 pennies have this error, which can significantly increase the value. Next, let's focus on the small date variety. In 1970, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced 2 different date sizes: small date and large date. The small date pennies have thinner and shorter numbers, especially the number 7, and this variety is much rarer than the large date version. Take a look at this side-by-side comparison of the large and small dates. Notice how the 7 in the small date is more delicate and doesn't curl as much. That's the key difference. If you find a small date 1970 S penny, especially in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a coin worth thousands. So, you're probably wondering, how much are these pennies actually worth? Well, let's break it down. The value of a 1970 penny can range significantly depending on its condition, mint mark, and variety. A regular 1970 S large date penny in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. A small date 1970 S penny in uncirculated condition, now we're talking $50 to $200, easily. But here's where things get exciting. A 1970 S small date penny with the right double die error or a proof version of the coin, particularly with minimal wear, has sold for upwards of $22,100 at auction. That's right, this seemingly humble penny can be worth a fortune under the right conditions. Why is it so valuable? Well, as with most high-value coins, it's all about rarity and demand. The combination of the small date variety, a mint error, and the coin's preservation in high grade make it highly desirable to collectors. Only a handful of these coins exist in such pristine condition, making them incredibly rare. So how do you know if you've got a valuable 1970 penny? First, you'll need a good magnifying glass, or even a jeweler's loupe to inspect the date closely. Check if you have the small date or large date, and look for any signs of doubling. You'll also want to consider the condition of the coin. Any scratches or wear and tear can reduce its value significantly. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can give your coin an official grade, which can help when selling to collectors or at auction. Higher grades, like Mint State, MS, or Proof, PR, are where the big money is, especially if your coin has a known error. Okay, So let's say you've gone through your collection and found a potential winner. Now what? Well, if you think you've got a valuable 1970 penny, consider sending it to a professional coin dealer or a grading service for evaluation. Auction houses, online platforms like eBay, or specialized coin auction websites are great places to sell rare coins, especially if they're graded and in high demand. But here's a little tip for budding coin collectors and investors. Keep an eye on these types of rare coins because their value can continue to rise over time. The market for rare pennies, especially Lincoln cents with unique errors, remains strong, and collectors are always on the hunt for those special finds. So there you have it, folks. The 1970 Lincoln penny may look like a regular coin, but it could be worth thousands of dollars if you find the right variety. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone who just found some old pennies in a jar, it's worth taking a closer look at those 1970s Lincoln cents. You never know. You might just have a small fortune in your hands. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out on our latest coin collecting tips and tricks. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny in your collection. I'd love to hear your stories. We're diving into the history and value of a classic American coin, the 1965 Lincoln penny. Could this humble 1-cent coin, which might be hiding in your loose change, actually be worth $25, $100, or even more? Stick around, and let's uncover the secrets behind this coin and why it has collectors on the hunt. First, let's rewind back to the year 1965. It was a tumultuous time in America, filled with civil rights movements, the Vietnam War, and major social changes. Amidst all that, the United States Mint continued producing Lincoln cents, just like they had since 1909, when President Abraham Lincoln became the first historical figure to appear on U.S. coinage. But what makes the 1965 Lincoln penny special? For one, it was part of a transitional era in U.S. coinage history. The U.S. Mint had just stopped using silver in most of its coins, switching to more affordable materials. On top of that, the Mint was facing a massive coin shortage in the early 1960s, which led to some interesting decisions. Now, if you've ever looked closely at a penny, you might have noticed a small letter under the year that indicates which mint produced the coin. D stands for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mark typically means Philadelphia. But here's where the 1965 penny gets interesting. None of the pennies minted in 1965, 1966, or 1967 have a mint mark, not even the Denver or San Francisco minted coins. Why? The U.S. Mint decided to remove mint marks entirely for 3 years to discourage collectors from hoarding coins, especially as they were transitioning from silver. This decision means all 1965 pennies, regardless of where they were made, look the same, no mint mark. And while that might seem like a small thing, it adds a layer of intrigue for collectors today. So, how does a 1965 Lincoln penny become worth more than face value? There are a few key factors that can make your penny worth a lot more than just 1 cent. The primary ones are condition, errors, and rarity. First, condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, uncirculated coin. If you have a 1965 penny in pristine condition, especially those rated as MS65, Mint State 65, or higher, you could easily be looking at values between $25 to $100 or more. Coins graded at MS67 or MS68 have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. However, most of the 1965 pennies you'll find in circulation are likely in lower grades, ranging from very fine to about uncirculated. In those conditions, they're generally worth only a few cents more than face value, unless they have some special feature. Another key to unlocking a high-value 1965 penny is errors. Error coins are like hidden treasures within the coin world. Some common errors that can make your 1965 penny worth more include off-center strikes, die cracks, and especially double die errors. A double die error happens when the design is stamped onto the coin more than once, creating a doubling effect on the image or letters. These can be hard to spot if you're not paying attention, but collectors are willing to pay big bucks for them. If your 1965 penny has an obvious error, its value can skyrocket from a few dollars to hundreds, or even thousands, depending on the severity of the mistake. One more thing that can affect the value of a 1965 penny is its metal content. Pennies from 1965 were made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, unlike modern pennies, which have a copper-plated zinc core. Because of the high copper content, each 1965 penny actually contains about 2 to 3 cents worth of copper at today's market prices. While you can't legally melt pennies for their copper, this metal value adds another layer of interest for collectors. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1965 penny is one of the valuable ones? Well, here's a quick checklist. If your 1965 penny ticks all those boxes, you might just have a coin worth $25, $100, or even more. And even if it's not, every coin tells a story, and who knows what treasures might be sitting in your change jar right now. We're talking about the 1964 mint marked Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that has been skyrocketing in value, and could be worth as much as $28,100. Yes, you heard that right, $28,100 for a single penny. Asterisk now, you might be wondering, what makes this seemingly ordinary penny so special? To understand that, we need to go back in time and take a closer look at its history, the variations in mint marks, and what collectors are looking for when they price these coins. Plus, we'll break down why some versions of this penny are selling for astronomical amounts. Asterisk, let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became one of the most iconic coins in American history and has been in circulation ever since. But today, we're focusing on the 1964 penny, which is part of the Wheat Penny series. Asterisk, in 1964, the U.S. Mint was producing pennies at a rapid pace. These coins were struck in two major locations, Philadelphia and Denver, denoted by a mint mark. Coins from Philadelphia had no mint mark, while those from Denver were stamped with a tiny D beneath the date on the coin's obverse. Asterisk, in terms of composition, the 1964 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, with a weight of about 3.11 grams. Asterisk, so, what makes these pennies valuable? Well, the vast majority of 1964 pennies that you come across are going to be worth face value, or just slightly more, maybe a few cents to $1 if they're in good condition. But there are some exceptional cases where a penny can be worth thousands of dollars. Asterisk, the most valuable 1964 pennies come from coins with either rare errors or ones that are in immaculate, uncirculated condition. This brings us to one of the most important factors, the mint state, or MS, grading system, which is used to measure the quality of a coin. Coins graded MS65 or higher are in almost perfect condition, with no signs of wear and very few marks or scratches. These can fetch a high price from collectors. Asterisk, if you happen to have a 1964 penny that is graded MS65 or higher, congratulations. You could be sitting on a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Asterisk now. Let's talk about the other major reason some 1964 pennies can be so valuable, minting errors. These errors are what really drive the price up. Collectors absolutely love error coins because they're rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. Asterisk, some of the most common minting errors include double die obverse, where the design has been accidentally struck twice, creating a slight overlapping of the features like the date or Lincoln's face. These pennies can be worth hundreds of dollars depending on the severity of the doubling. Then, there are coins with off-center strikes, where the design is shifted from the center of the coin, and these are also highly sought after. But that's not all. Some 1964 pennies have been struck on the wrong planchet, which is the blank metal disc that coins are struck on. If a penny from 1964 was accidentally struck on a silver planchet instead of the regular copper one, you've hit the jackpot. These types of error coins can sell for thousands of dollars at auction. So, what about this eye-popping $28,100 value? This jaw-dropping price was achieved at auction for an incredibly rare and pristine example of a 1964 Lincoln penny. In that case, the coin was in near-perfect condition, and it had one of the most coveted minting errors, a double die. Not every 1964 penny is worth that much, but it goes to show that if you find the right one, you could be in for a massive payday. ETs break down how the market value for the 1964 penny can vary so dramatically. Here's a rough price guide. A standard 1964 penny in average circulated condition, 1 to 3 cents. In uncirculated condition, $1 to $1.10. A 1964 penny with a significant error, like a double die or off-center strike, anywhere from $50 to $5,000. And in the rarest cases, like a pristine MS-67 double die penny, that's where the value can shoot up to over $20,000. So, what should you look for when you're examining your 1964 penny? There are a few key factors that will determine the value of your coin. First, check the mint mark. If you see a small D under the date, that means the coin was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. Next, check the condition of the coin. Does it look worn or scratched? Or does it look shiny and new, with sharp details on Lincoln's face and the wheat ears on the reverse side? And most importantly, look for any errors. Use a magnifying glass to see if there's doubling on the date, Lincoln's profile, or any other details. Once you've inspected your coin, it's a good idea to get it professionally graded if you think it might be valuable. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate the coin and assign it an official grade, which will help determine its market value. So, there you have it. The 1964 Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin in your pocket, but if you're lucky, you might just have a rare and valuable piece of history in your hands. Whether it's a high-grade example or one with a unique minting error, these pennies can fetch anywhere from a few bucks to tens of thousands of dollars. If you've got a 1964 penny lying around, now's the time to dig it out, give it a good look, and see if you're one of the lucky ones. We're diving into a fascinating coin, the 1963 Lincoln cent with a mint mark that could be worth way more than just 1 cent. That's right, we're talking values of up to $32,100 for this little penny. Rocket. Stick around because we're going to break down the history, the factors that affect its value, and why this particular coin could be sitting in your change and worth a fortune. First, let's start with some history. The 1963 Lincoln cent is part of a long-running series that started in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. That's why you'll see Lincoln's profile on the front or obverse of the coin. But by 1963, this coin was already widely circulated. It was minted during a time of change and transition in the U.S. economy as the country was moving out of the post-war era and into the economic boom of the 1960s. What makes the 1963 penny stand out? Well, aside from being part of this historic series, there are some unique details, especially when you start looking at the mint marks. Now, if you've got a 1963 Lincoln penny in hand, the first thing you'll want to do is check for a mint mark. This little letter on the coin tells you where it was made, and trust me, it can make a big difference in value. For 1963, you could have one of two mint marks, D for the Denver Mint or no mint mark at all, which means it was produced in Philadelphia. The Denver Mint coins, marked with a D, are generally more common, but it's the Philadelphia pennies or coins with special characteristics that really get collectors excited. So what makes a 1963 penny worth $32,100? Well, several factors come into play, and it's not just about having a penny from 1963. Let's break it down. The condition of your coin, or what collectors call its grade, is a major factor. Coins in mint condition, with little to no wear, are always worth more. A coin that has been circulated, meaning it's been used in everyday transactions, will usually have some signs of wear. But if you find an uncirculated 1963 penny with a high grade, especially certified by a grading company like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands. This is where things get exciting. Some of the most valuable 1963 pennies are worth so much because of minting errors. These are mistakes made during the production of the coin. For example, double die errors, where the image or text appears doubled, can dramatically increase a penny's value. Other errors include off-center strikes or planchet errors, where the blank coin wasn't properly prepared. An error coin from 1963 in top condition could fetch thousands, especially if it's a rare type of mistake. Although billions of pennies were minted in 1963, certain factors make some coins rarer than others. For instance, a smaller number of high-grade coins survive over time, and those with unique mint marks or errors can be much harder to find. The rarer your coin, the higher its value. Alright, so how much is this coin worth today? On the low end, a regular 1963 penny that's been circulated could be worth anywhere from 2 to 10 cents. Not much, right? But wait! If you've got one in mint condition, especially a rare error coin or an uncirculated version, you're looking at serious money. Anywhere from $500 to $5,000, depending on the type of error and grade. A pristine 1963 Lincoln penny with a rare double die error or another significant mint error can be valued as high as $32,100 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. There are verified sales of 1963 pennies with mint errors that have sold for over $30,000 at auction. So it's definitely worth taking a closer look at those pennies in your collection. So now you're probably wondering, do I have a valuable 1963 penny in my collection? Here's how you can check. First, check for that mint mark under the date. Remember, a D means Denver, and no mint mark means it's from Philadelphia. Look closely at the lettering and images. Are any of them doubled or off-center? Does anything look strange? Use a magnifying glass to spot small details that could indicate an error. Consider the condition of your penny. If it looks shiny and new, with little to no scratches or wear, you might have an uncirculated coin, which is worth more. If you think you've got something special, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and grade your coin, which could increase its value dramatically if it's in high-grade condition. So there you have it. Your 1963 Lincoln penny could be worth more than you ever imagined, especially if it has a mint mark, is in great condition, or has a rare error. Who knew that a humble penny could be worth $32,100, right? If you've got a 1963 penny, check it out carefully. You might just have a little piece of history and some extra cash sitting in your pocket. We're diving into the fascinating world of numismatics to explore a specific coin that has captured the interest of collectors and investors alike. The 1962 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, This penny has a lot to offer in terms of history and value. So let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. The 1962 D Lincoln penny is a 1-cent coin minted by the United States Mint with a D mint mark, indicating it was produced in Denver. These pennies are part of the Lincoln Penny series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, has been featured on the obverse side of the penny since its introduction. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this iconic image of Lincoln was chosen to honor his legacy. The reverse side of the coin features 2 wheat stalks, which is why these coins are often referred to as wheat pennies. Now, let's focus on the 1962 D penny specifically. In 1962, the United States Mint produced approximately 1.2 billion pennies, with the Denver Mint contributing a significant portion of that number. This was during a period of high minting activity, as the country was experiencing economic growth and a need for more circulating currency. Despite the high mintage, the 1962 D penny holds a special place in the hearts of collectors for several reasons. First, the quality of the minting process during this period was generally high, and well-preserved examples can be quite appealing. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition can command higher prices. The value of a 1962 D penny depends heavily on its condition or grade. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P, to mint state, MS, with higher grades being more valuable. For instance, a 1962 D penny in uncirculated mint state 65 or higher can fetch around $35 to $100, depending on the market and demand. The 1962 D Lincoln penny is often overlooked because of its large mintage, but it's a great example of how small variations and the condition of the coin can impact its value. Coins that have been preserved in high-grade condition are valued more because they're less common in such excellent shape. To get a better idea of how a 1962 D penny's value can fluctuate, let's compare a well-worn coin with a high-grade specimen. As you can see, the difference in detail and appearance is quite significant. Collectors and investors are willing to pay a premium for coins that show minimal signs of wear. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1962 D penny, there are several avenues to explore. Coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces are popular choices. It's always a good idea to get your coin appraised by a professional to understand its current market value and potential. For those of you who have a 1962 D penny and want to evaluate its condition, here are a few tips. Examine the coin under a magnifying glass to check for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. Look at the details on Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks on the reverse. High-grade coins will have sharp, clear details with minimal wear. If you're interested in learning more about coin collecting or finding resources to help you with your collection, there are plenty of books, websites, and forums available. Engaging with the numismatic community can provide valuable insights and help you stay updated on market trends. So, there you have it, a comprehensive look at the 1962 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. From its historical background to its current market value, this penny is a great example of how seemingly common coins can still hold significant value. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about coins and collectibles. And if you have any questions or want to share your own experiences with the 1962 D penny, leave a comment below. We have an exciting topic for all you coin enthusiasts and collectors out there. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1961 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This coin is more than just a piece of currency. It's a historical artifact with significant value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about what makes this penny so special, stick around as we explore its history, rarity, and current market value. Let's get started. The 1961 D Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent piece, is an important coin in American numismatic history. Produced by the Denver Mint, it was part of the ongoing series featuring Abraham Lincoln, which began in 1909. But what sets the 1961 D penny apart, and why is it commanding such interest in the market today? To understand the significance of the 1961 D penny, let's start with a bit of historical context. The Lincoln penny was designed by Victor David Brenner and was initially minted to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, this coin has become one of the most widely circulated and collected coins in American history. In 1961, the United States Mint was busy producing coins for a growing nation. The Denver Mint, where our 1961 D pennies were struck, was one of the primary facilities responsible for minting these coins. The D Mint mark indicates that the coin was produced in Denver, distinguishing it from those minted in Philadelphia, which do not carry a mint mark. Now, let's talk about why the 1961 D penny has gained notable attention in the coin collecting world. The coin itself is made of a copper alloy and features a simple yet iconic design: Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. While it may seem like an ordinary penny at first glance, certain factors contribute to its current market value. One of the key factors is the coin's rarity and condition. Although the 1961 D penny was produced in large quantities, some examples have been preserved in exceptional condition. Coins in mint state, especially those with higher grades like MS65 or above, can be highly sought after by collectors. Additionally, any unusual die varieties or minting errors can significantly impact the value. For those who are curious about the current market value, as of today, the 1961 D Lincoln penny in excellent condition is worth around $38. However, this value can fluctuate based on the coin's grade, rarity, and market demand. Rare errors or special varieties can drive the price much higher, sometimes reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars. To get an accurate appraisal of your 1961 D penny, it's essential to consult with a professional coin dealer or numismatist. They can provide insights into the coin's condition, potential errors, and current market trends. If you're thinking of selling or purchasing, staying updated with market trends is crucial to getting the best value for your coin. Here are a few tips for those interested in collecting or investing in Lincoln pennies. Higher grade coins are generally worth more. Look for pennies with minimal wear, sharp details, and clean surfaces. Die errors and minting anomalies can add significant value. Be on the lookout for doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other rare variations. The coin market can be volatile. Regularly check auction results, collector forums, and price guides to stay up to date on the latest trends. So there you have it. The 1961 D Lincoln penny might seem like a small piece of history, but it holds a special place in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're looking to add it to your collection or just curious about its value, understanding its history and market trends can make all the difference. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins and collecting, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Have any questions or comments? Drop them below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting.